RelSci list tool. My name is Alexander Baer, and I'm joined by my colleague on our client development team, Lily Engel, and my colleague on the marketing team, Chelsea Briggs. During today's webinar, we will answer any questions that you have at the very end, so please submit any questions that might arise through the chat question feature within GoToWebinar. This webinar will focus tightly on the RelSci list tool, and we will provide you with some tips and tricks for both creating and leveraging your list within the RelSci platform. The list tool makes building incredibly targeted prospect lists attainable, helps you bucket individuals and companies into different categories, and helps you leverage your relationships to gain access to those you'd like to do business with. Now I'm going to go into the platform and actually show you how this is done. So in order to access lists, you'll notice on the right-hand side this little list menu button right here. When you click on the arrow down, you'll see some of the lists that you have already created, and then when you click on View All Lists, it'll take you into the full list of lists that you've created. This basically stores all the lists in one place, and this is also where you go if you ever need to create a new list or upload a file to a list. So I'm basically going to show you really quick what's in here. So on the left-hand side, this is all the different lists that you created, their names, the date you created them, last viewed, and then how many items are actually on that list. You'll also see that some of these lists have been shared. If your firm has sharing turned on, then when you go in and you create a list, you can always go in and edit that list and share it with a group of people. And basically what that allows you to do is you go in and you create a list, let's say, of your donors, and you are and your colleagues are also targeting that same group of donors, you can all use that same list within your respective account. So then if you want to create a new list and you actually want to be able to add people throughout the platform to that list, you can click Create New List. And what this basically does is you can type in the list of people, let's say close friends. And what I could do is go throughout the platform and tag people that I consider as close friends and have them as one list. And you can also, when you're doing that, enable 360 alerts, which basically allows you to be able to receive an email alert anytime there's a news announcement on people or organizations in that list. And then the other really great thing about this is that you can upload files to lists. So I know you probably have lots of different lists living within your computer in Excel. Basically, all you have to do is upload a list as a CSV file by clicking here. And when you add that list, you'll name it, and it'll get stored into your account. A few things I'll just kind of note about this feature right here is that you can import any existing list that you have. So many of our clients will import lists of their prospects, their happy clients, good refers, target companies they're trying to get in front of. And basically any list you would like to leverage within RelSci, you can import that here. Just needs to be a CSV file in order to do it. And just one note, for those of you that have gone through any type of contact syncing process and have had to upload lists in the past, basically what you want in that file is to have the columns for first name, last name, company, and email address, and that's for people. So when you're uploading a list of people, just make sure that those different headers are there. And that way, basically what we'll do is when you upload that list of individuals, we'll match people that are on that list with people that are within RelSci, and then find the overlap, and that becomes your list. You can also upload a list of companies. If you do that, really the only header you need is just the list of companies. And what we'll do there is use our matching algorithm to match the list of companies that you have in your list to the match of companies that are in RelSci. And then one other thing that I'll mention is that many of you use a CRM. If you have a list of people that you want to export from your CRM, so let's say that's current clients of yours or people that you currently are in trial with, whatever that list is, and you want to be able to upload that list, you can do that within here as well. Just export that from your CRM and upload it as a CSV. And one other thing I'll mention here as well is that you can upload as big of a list as you want. Basically, sometimes people will be like, well, my list is really big. I don't really know, who's in it. And I'll show you in a little bit, but actually you can go through that list and refine it further using Power Search. and I'll show you that later in this presentation. So the only way to create lists is not only within the My List by uploading a list here. You can also actually create lists using the RelSci platform. And you can do that through these different search tools that you see on the right-hand side: Power Search, Donor Search, Investor Search, Visit a City, and Due Diligence. So let's say you're traveling somewhere and you would like to save a list of people. So let's say I'm traveling to Dallas coming up, and I want to meet with people that are C-suite and senior management while I'm there. I can quickly go in here and show the people that fit that criteria. And then basically, there are a lot of people. There are 4,900 people that are C-suite senior management within Dallas, but I only want to look at those that are actually within a colleague's connection. I can see here that there's 34 people that my colleagues have direct ties to that are within Dallas. I can go right here and save that as a list, and then either go to my colleagues or save that and use it in Pathfinder, and it'll basically save within the platform. So you can do that with all these tools here, but I quickly wanted to point that out. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show you is that for any list that you have, you're able to turn on 360 alerts. So for those of you not very familiar with 360 alerts, it's basically our business news and alerting service, and you get a daily email with any news announcements that have gone on the prior day for people that you follow within the platform. And you can also turn on 360 alerts for individual lists that you have created. And so if you want to, let's say, if you have a list of your top prospects, it's a great way. Go ahead and add them into the platform, turn on 360 alerts for them, then you'll start receiving alerts as there's different news announcements that come up with them. And that's just a great way to use that little negative information that you see in alerts and send that person a quick note, and keeping that conversation really warm is great. So if I wanted to, let's say, turn it on for Chicago's Power 100, I can click, all I have to do is just click it. It turns yellow. That means I will now start receiving alerts on them. You can also filter it further. So let's say you're only interested in receiving specific types of alerts. You can receive specific types of alerts by industries, by topic, and by keyword. And if you click into topic, you can see the different topics. So let's say you only want to receive a news alert when there's some type of merger or acquisition. That's all you really care about. So let's say there's an insider transaction. You can do that through here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple examples of how we've seen our clients actually use lists throughout the platform. So let's say you're preparing for a panel event that your organization is hosting, and you'd like to make introductions between a panelist and your event attendees. So what you would do in this case is load the attendee list into RelSci. You would go here into your list to view all lists, and you would upload that file. Save it as a CSV, upload it to RelSci, and then you can start using that list. So once that list is in here, I already have it in here, so I'm going to show you right now how you would use it. So basically, the goal here is to be able to say, okay, how's one of my panelists connected to people that are attending my event? In order to be able to figure that out, you'll go to Pathfinder. If you remember, Pathfinder is basically a way to be able to see how one entity is connected to another entity. It's very flexible, so I can actually use lists in both the from and the to fields. So let's say I wanted one of my panelists is Melody Louise Hobson. And I already have this list created of my event attendees. So when I click Show Path, basically what this is going to do is going to show me from Melody how she's connected to people on this list. So it's basically showing me, actually, she has a direct connection to somebody on this list. Patricia Mitchell. They're connected because they're both on the board of V-Day, both on the board of the Sundance Institute, and both members on the Council of Foreign Relations. And if you've been in Pathfinder before, you'll remember that we rank the likelihood of people knowing each other, strong, medium, and weak. So you'll see here that there's a strong likelihood that Melody is connected to Patricia through these different ways. And so basically what I can do here is save this as a report and print this off and give it to Melody prior to the event and basically show her, here are some people that you're potentially connected to that are also attending this event. So the next example I wanted to go through is, let's say you're trying to leverage your happy clients as a means to get in front of your target. So what we could do here is create a list of your happy clients. You might want to take a subset of your larger list of clients, or you might want to go through the platform and handpick people, or you might even have people in your relationships. So if I go into, these are the people, the 509 people within RelSci that I personally have tagged that I know, I can go through here and actually, let's say Alan is a connection of mine, and he's also one of my happy clients. I can go through here, find my happy clients list, and add them to it. And then in order to be able to see how the two connect to each other, we'll go back into Pathfinder. And so what we would do here is say, okay, if I'm looking to see how my happy clients are connected to my target, I'll just plug in both lists. So these are both lists. Both of these lists have people on them. Basically what I'm going to be showing now is how my current clients are connected to my prospects. And you can see there's some really strong ties at the top between people that I know and people that I'm trying to get in front of. And so basically, again here, all this takes is basically you going to your happy client and saying, I believe that there is a strong likelihood that you know David Hamilton Koch through American Enterprise Institute as well as MIT. And here another one, Harvey, potentially connected to Philip through Castle Brand. And then a third one, James is connected to Jean through Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. So this is really cool. These are three, according to RelSci, strong likelihood connections that these people know each other. And so all you really have to do here is go to these current clients of yours and ask them if they can make warm introductions to these people you're trying to get in front of. And boom, that might end up in a new meeting for you. So the third example I'm going to show you is actually within Power Search. So I was saying a little while ago that if you have a really large list of people that you upload and you want to be able to slice and dice it, you can do that using Power Search. So let's say I have a list of the 4 world billionaires in my account, and I want to be able to further refine that list. What I could do here is, let's say I'm looking to get in front of people that are C-suite executive, and then I only want to target those people that actually went to Harvard. What I'm basically doing here is saying anybody that's on this list that's a C-suite executive and went to Harvard, I want to see those people. So when I click search, what Power Search is now doing is not searching throughout the entire database like it would, it's searching within the list of people. And what it's going to do now is show me a list of people that fit the criteria of having gone to Harvard and being a C-suite executive. So there are 9 people. And you'll see here that my colleagues have access to 5 of them, and then my extended network, basically my extended network being the people that I've tagged that I know, they're connected to 8 of them. So that's just a really easy way to basically further slice and dice a larger list of people. And there's many different modules for you to do that. And as you can see here, you can do it by industry, by investment. You can look at donations, membership, anything personal. Let's say you only want to look at people on a list that have a hobby of golf. You can do that in here. So the next example I'm going to show you is a little similar. So I'm going to go back into Power Search. And what I want to do now is I have a list of the Fortune 100 companies. And I want to find C-suite and senior management people that are at the Fortune 100. And basically what this is doing here, so I guess just like a little rule of thumb, is that when you have a list of people, you can just put it up here on the Appears on List. But if you're really wanting to look at a list of companies and really get the people that are at C-suite at those companies, you can put that list within the individual module that you're looking at and find those people that are actually C-suite at that company and not just like a board member or something like that. And let's say I want to look at technology. So in order to find those people, I do that search. And there are 342 people that are C-suite at technology companies that appear on the Fortune 100 companies list. And then again, I can see how I'm connected to those people. And I can save these as a new list. I can create a report of it if I want to print it out and show it to people. Let's say I'm going to a meeting with my colleagues, and I want to be able to print this out and show my colleagues how they're connected to people that I'm trying to get in front of. You can do that through here. And then same thing, if I want to be able to see my extended network and how they're connected, I can do that through here. If I save this, I can always run it in Pathfinder and really see how, me or my firm is connected to these people. And the last example I'm going to go through is basically jumping off from the profile of an individual and using a list from that. So let's say you're hosting a cancer fundraising event at NYC and want to send out additional invitations. What you can do here is leverage one of your biggest donors. So if you want to leverage one of your donors, let's say I want to leverage David. I can go to his profile. And RelSci basically, through our algorithms, says that David potentially has access to over 8,000 people. Well, that's a really large number of people, and it might be hard to really figure out who exactly that list of 8,000 people actually would care about a cancer event that I'm hosting. So if I go to David's relationships and click See All, what I can do here is save all of his relationships as a list. What I would do here is to say New List, save that. I'm going to go back into Power Search because what I want to do now is within that 8,000 group of people that David potentially has access to, I want to refine that list down to people that are located in New York and would care about a cancer event. So all I'll do here is say, okay, I'm going to go to David's relationship. I only want to look at those that are located in New York. And then I really only care about those that have interest in cancer. So I'm going to type in breast cancer and cancer research. And I'm going to click search. And now what this is showing me here is that there are 28 people that David potentially has access to that have donated to a cancer cause and are located in New York. This is a great list of people that I can basically now save as a new list or create or print this off as a report and basically have a meeting with David and say, David, looks like you know these people. This is how you know them. Can you invite some people to the event that we're hosting? And you can really do that for anybody within the platform and really, refine that list down. So those are examples that I wanted to go through. Really hope that this helps spur some ideas for you in terms of how you can use the list tool. I know that there's probably, some questions that you have, and in a second we will answer those questions, but definitely encourage you to, try starting to use the list tool. If you have any questions or like our team's help with uploading lists, we're more than happy to do that. We also have some lists that we've already created that we can always add to your account. If you've seen some of the emails that we've been sending out over the past few weeks, we have some just existing lists like, richest individuals, companies, that type of thing that we can add to your account. And with that said, I will hand this over to Chelsea and Lily.
Sure. Okay. So the first question we have is, am I able to create lists of companies in addition to lists of people? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. So you're able to load in lists of individuals, as Alexandra mentioned, by either uploading
via CSV or adding individual people to lists through a power search result or from their profile. You're also able to do the same for lists of companies. So all you'd need in your CSV if you were doing a file upload is the company name, and RelSci will match off of that. You can also go to a company's profile page, add the company there, or do a search for organizations within Power Search and create the lists that way. In addition, you're also able to create lists that have constituents that are both people and organizations. So you can really have any type of list you're looking for.
Great. The next question is, can you only upload people to a list who are already on the RelSci platform? For example, within the panelist attendee example, what happens if none of the attendees are on the RelSci platform?
That's a good question. So as with tagging relationships in RelSci, our universe is limited to the 3.5 or so million individuals we have profiled and the million or so companies we have profiled. So unfortunately, if your list consists of individuals that we don't have in the system, you're not able to add them to a list within RelSci. But you can always reach out to our client support team and see if that person is someone that we might be able to profile, in which case they'd get back to you, and then you'd be able to add that person or those individuals to a list going forward.
Okay, and the next question, where were you able to find the profile for David Rubenstein with the 8,000 plus names or relationships?
So David's profile is within RelSci. In order to pull up any individual, you can use that top search bar. So Alexandra is just typing in David's name now. And from the smart search, she selected his profile. And here at the top, it's going to relate his potential relationships via RelSci to the people that you have marked as relationships. But if you scroll down a little bit on the page, there's a RelSci relationship summary section. And clicking See All here is where our tool shows you everyone, so the 8,000 individuals that our platform believes that David may know or have access to via shared boards, shared work experience, etc. So right from the top of this page, there's a Save option. And that's where you're able to create a list that consists of the people that RelSci believes David may know.
Perfect. Okay, and then the last question is there a way to quickly add a person or company to a list when I happen to think of that person or company? Or do I always have to upload a file or generate a search within RelSci to do so?
And the answer to that is yes. So at the top of any person or company profile in RelSci, there is an Add to List button. So you can always just click that, select the list. At the very bottom of this list dropdown, there's even an option to add a new list if you'd like to create a list on the fly. And that alerts on or off option that shows to the right lets you really quickly turn on 360 alerts for those lists. So you're able to do that. In addition, if you're looking at a list of people, you can also hover your mouse over their name, and what we call a baseball card pop-up shows up over that individual's name that gives you their latest employment. You can also click Add to List there. So you don't even have to fully load any of the profiles. You can just hover your mouse over the person's highlighted name.
Okay, next question. Do you need to have an email address for an individual when uploading a list? For example, if I just have the names of the individuals on a certain board, can I put the first name, last name, and the board name?
No. So email address is a helpful column to include if you're doing a list upload, because our tool will look at the domain of that email address, so the @ on, to help match with companies that we know that's the domain for that organization. With RelSci, you are X list as reports. So at the top of any list page, there's going to be a report button.
some more. Can I export a save RelSci? Save list in RelSci into the Excel.
So if we were to export just the list results, it does not include any of the shortest path information. However, you can use that list to create a path report. So if you use the Pathfinder tool to go from myself or your firm or colleagues, whatever your specific search you'd like to be, to that path, and then from there, the reporting options allow you to show the strongest paths to everyone at that list. If anyone has specific projects like that they'd like to work out, we'd be happy to help get that situated for you and run through the specifics.
Great. Well, thank you for everyone attending today and for your questions. If we didn't answer any of them, we will. If you do have any specific questions about how to use lists or how to export it for our client support team, live, and they are there to help you. Hope everyone has a great